Okay, welcome to the International False Rape Timeline. Another not live hangout. I think this is number 43, not quite sure. I'm calling this one Halloween Surprise because it will be going out on Halloween and I'm recording it a little bit in advance. Surprise because I didn't expect to have enough material for another hangout this month. But we've got quite a lot now. Maybe the next one will be live. As if I'm still live. I dealt with some sort of infection, not COVID, but I've always had a fairly weak sort of constitution. I'm surprised I lasted this long. If I can outlive if I can live longer than Eddie Van Halen, I should be satisfied. Quite a lot here. I've actually made 2 videos since the last live hangout in fairly quick succession. They're both on my YouTube page, my YouTube account, also on Bitchute. And I'll be adding them to the Internet Archive probably early next month. They are there's one about Jim Hopper, which is called The Junk Science of Jim Hopper, and another on the truth about Jimmy Savile. If you haven't heard of Jim Hopper, he's a Mangina academic who has allowed himself to be used by the sexual grievance industry, and he's made a comfortable living out of it. Certainly supplemented his income. He talks bollocks, absolute rubbish, and you don't have to be a scientist to realise this. So it's a fairly short video, about 12-13 minutes. It's got a thumbs up from Elizabeth Loftus, so that can't be bad. And the second one is about Savile. I was trying to debate all sorts of things. I was going to do one about Savile and Michael Jackson. But I've written about Savile elsewhere, covered Savile before, but this is a short, about 16-minute dedicated video about Savile. How the Jimmy Savile myth was created. Isn't really comparable with the Cosby one about this guy drugging and raping women for decades. If anything, it's even worse because almost all of it came out after his death. But there is actually a starting point. That is 2009. In October 2009, he was questioned by Surrey police, and it was evident that the allegations made against him were rubbish, and yet after his death they were simply lies were simply recycled, and the police and others appealed for new victims to come forward, and came forward in their hundreds. Please run please run your eye over that. And if you check out the More Larkin blogspot, Jim Cannot Fix This, which has got a lot more. I don't know who that guy is, but he's done an excellent job. So we've got a lot to cover here. Jack Mount, I don't know if you've heard the name, but Jack Mount was he ran a school for many years, and he was accused many times. It was about 5 or 6 times. He was tried 5 or 6 times for sexual abuse. I remember the last one when he was 97. Imagine that, 97. He's just died at the age of 100, and there's a big spread on the BBC website. The boarding school monster who always walked free. I'd have more faith in that article if they didn't say the same thing about about Savile. How can I put it? The allegations against it was so outrageous that, I mean, there's one here that about two girls. The girls told officers their headmaster had raped and sexually abused them repeatedly for 2 years. Physical tests backed up their claims. Did it really? There's a lot about this. I mean, his own daughter turned against him at some point. I claimed that sexually abused her when she was young, but I don't know if it's, you know, if she was brainwashed into believing it. I really don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say. It was a boarding school. 37 boys and later a couple of girls. Rather unusual boarding school. Now, I actually went to boarding school. I went to 2 boarding schools actually. When I was, I don't remember how old I was, but I was born with a slight heart murmur, and I had a lung problem, and at one point I was vomiting blood. So they sent me to school at the coast. I spent over a year there, I think. And then they sent me to another one near Red Hill, which was horrible, which I shouldn't have been. I think it was more a mistake that, because that was more for kids with not physical problems, but psychiatric problems. I certainly didn't have psychiatric problems when I was that age, about 9 or 10. The boarding schools in the 1960s, well, not just the schools in the 1960s, you couldn't talk back to teachers then. I've no doubt there may have been, it may have been this school by today's standards it was very austere, no doubt about that. But in those days you couldn't talk back to teachers. If you did, you'd twist your lug hole. What was that, Smith Minor? You know, but if women teachers, adults wouldn't stand for back chaff. You know, people in the street. Nowadays they can't do anything. You know, because if an adult does anything to a kid, it'll be arrested, probably accused of some sort of sexual offence, because kids today are very canny, very, not just today, it goes back to certainly at least the 1990s. Is one I found, if I find this is a recent case added recently to the timeline. I can find this. This is quite an amazing one from the United States. Can't remember. It's a very recent one. In the 1999. April something. I think it was April 15th. Let's have a look. April 15. Was it 94? It was a really weird case of a girl who claimed a guy jumped on her, and no, it's she claimed the guy jumped on her and tried to rip off her trousers, or pants as they say in America. And she was 11 years old, and 2 other girls backed her up. And this guy was arrested. He eventually got bail, and he was arraigned by the grand jury. And what happened was, this girl, she was watching a TV program, some religious program I suspect, and she told her mother that she was afraid she'd go to hell for telling a lie. So her mother took her along to the police, and the story was completely made up. I think that they may have known this guy slightly, but one girl and her 2 chums decided to frame a bloke for no real reason. It's absolutely incredible. So I don't know how much of this Jack Mount story is true. I suspect that much of it is embellished. I've no doubt there was physical cruelty by today's standards, but I suspect much of it was embellished. Janner's back in the news. Greville Janner. This inquiry into child abuse is going on. His son and his entire family say he was totally innocent, but as I've said elsewhere, I have some slight inside information on this from the 1990s. But I believe Janner did have actually what was an inappropriate relationship. I do believe he was up to no good with one boy, and that when it's a bit complicated, but Frank Beck, who ran the children's home where this kid lived, claimed to have protected him from Janner. Beck was a homo, and he was accused of doing things to the boys, which I think Beck was totally innocent. I mean, he pointed the finger at Janner and he protected this kid from Janner. And pardon me, I was sort of semi-fasting yesterday. Just had some toast. Really don't feel so good. It's small hours. And he used this as part of his defence. And I think what happened was Janner. I think Janner did do something to one boy. And when the police began investigating back, they went trawling and they found lots and lots of victims, supposed victims. Plus, Janner was quite a high-profile character anyway. He was involved in Jewish stuff, and he was a magician, an amateur magician. He did some good stuff, you know. But at least one of his accusers was shown to have lied. He was in Australia at the time some of his abuse meant to take place. So I'll come on to, I'll deal with embellishment in a bit when I talk about John Leslie. I've got some stuff here in this directory. Where is it? Various stuff. Yeah, okay. No, not that one. Yes, here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Yeah. This is some old research I was doing. This is from 1933. Innocent girl's tragic despair. The girl, she was Mary Ride, W-R-I-D-E, 20 years old. She was accused of stealing a pound note went missing. Well, pound in the 1930s was a lot more than it is today, but it was maybe a score. And she ended up committing suicide, which I thought was very sad. The same paper as this is Taunton Courier for August the 23rd, 1933, page 2. Cinema film as evidence. Use in court for first time. For the first time in our courts, I shall be able to show you. I shall be able to show at the proper time a cinematograph film of a man stealing his master's goods. This statement was made by Mr. Edmund O'Connor, who prosecuted on Friday in a case at Guildhall Police Court, London. He explained that after Messrs. Bowles, Nichols and Company of King Street, Smithfield, had missed large quantities of bacon over a considerable period, ex-detective Inspector Leach, formerly of Scotland Yard, was engaged to keep the warehouse under observation. Mr. Leach's son, an expert photographer, conceived the idea of taking the cinematograph film, and the result was a film that would be shown in the court to the court. Five men were charged with stealing. Now, of course, lots of false rape allegations and true ones have been exposed, or false ones have been exposed, and true rapists and murderers, all sorts of people have been convicted on account of film evidence, CCTV evidence. I've got something else on similar nature here, I think. Caught on camera. Yeah, caught on camera. CCTV. Pardon me. Hopefully that's the last time. It's about a police officer who's caught on camera allegedly assaulting a man during arrest. Very simple. But there's a lot of false allegations in particular, not just a rape, but a lot of false allegations caught on camera. What's this one? Oh yeah, Women Against Rape and other odious campaigning lobbies. This is from December 31st last year. Thousands of asylum seekers. Get that right. It's from the Independent. Thousands of asylum seekers not reporting rapes. Thousands of rape victims seeking sanctuary in the UK are facing stigma from the Home Office that is preventing them reporting their sexual assault. Campaigners warn indeed. There's a little bit more blurb here about daunting bureaucratic hurdles. Women Against Rape, which provides legal advice to victims, found 2/3 of asylum seeking women using their services were destitute. This is why they're here. Using their services were destitute. Surveyed, it's a bit disjointed there. Surveyed had endured rape or other sexual violence in their home country, but only seen able to report the rape when claiming asylum. Oh yes. Sean Evans, who runs Women Against Rape's Refuge and Rape and Destitution campaign, said the sample for this study only includes 52 women seeking asylum, but it only represents the tip of the iceberg. What a load of bollocks. Now here is I'll probably put that on the timeline along with this one. This is from August the 9th, 1998, I think it is. August 9th, 1998. The Sunday Independent, an Irish newspaper. Asylum seekers fake torture. Asylum seekers fake torture. Nigerian plot to falsify torture and rape evidence for asylum by Liz Allen, crime correspondent. Who are you going to believe? A Garda raid on the home of a Nigerian national seeking political asylum has revealed a widespread plot to falsify evidence of torture, rape and political persecution to secure refugee status in this country. Ho ho ho. So who do you believe? On the subject of not women against rape, but rape crisis Scotland, this odious. Check out my video that these bitches are playing you, which contains. I've also written a couple of a two-part article on rape crisis Scotland. But with this business in Cyprus, this woman who, a teenager, whose name I know but I won't name her, she claims to have been raped by a dozen Israelis. Rape Crisis Scotland have sent a couple of their counsellors to Cyprus to educate, i.e. brainwash Cypriot police and lawmakers, etc., into believing in a woman anytime she makes allegations of rape. It's about trauma. Trauma-informed investigations. So Jim Hopper is in favour of. I sent an email to the government of Cyprus. I didn't have a reply, but hopefully it will put them in the loop. Interesting case I found here. From South Africa, retired cop handed life sentence for raping granddaughter 18 years ago. 78-year-old retired police captain, doesn't name him. I'm assuming he's black. He pleaded not guilty and claimed he did not even know the victim because she was so young. She was young. You can tell you never met her before, or in 2002, and the victim fabricated evidence against him due to an ongoing family feud. She's 28 years old. She comes forward and claims to have been raped by her grandfather 18 years ago. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't give these cases any credit at all. You know, any credit at all. Been a few cases like that. There's one or two from Africa. It's only white women who get brainwashed and are just malicious like that. Now here's an interesting case of a genuine delayed report. Kellen Winslow, an American former sportsman, play a bit of this.
Before cuttings were taken from the pants, that they...
No, for 18 minutes, I think.
The bus depot. And what? Station in Encinitas, which is known as the North Coast Station.
This guy was convicted, got a rather lenient sentence, 12-year sentence. He was a serial rapist, basically.
She called 911 to say that she didn't need to file a report. She walked right in, and she did. And she told them what this man...
Oh yeah, no, she reported it once, but she refused the rape kit, but there was other evidence. I'll just play this.
She did not know him as Kellen Winslow. She did not know his specific car that he drove. She did not have any other information about him. Just the description that I gave you. You're going to hear that she was consistent about where she was picked up, where she was taken, what he had said to her, what she had said to him, and what he had done to her. And it's going to be for you to ultimately decide if you believe her when you've heard all of the evidence in this case. You're going to hear that after she had reported these crimes, that after she had come forward, that she chose, as is her right, to not have a sexual assault examination. Those 4 days removed from the day of the crime, she elected not to. But she did provide the pants that she had been wearing, as well as the underwear that she had been wearing for long.
I stand corrected. She did delay. This was a woman who was down on her luck, a genuinely vulnerable victim. You hear all this garbage about vulnerable women all the time. You know, they put the adjective vulnerable in front of a woman, and you can justify anything. This is some more rubbish here. This is from the anti-trafficking industry. For those of you who are not aware of it, I mean, I wrote an article on this a few years ago now, about the four narratives of prostitution. It's called Prostitution, the Four Narratives. And you got the traditional one, the biblical harlot. You got the fallen woman. You got the feminists come along. They started equating prostitution with rape, which is ludicrous. Even pornography with rape. The organised prostitutes and others working around the sex industry fought back with the slogan "sex work is real work," or simply "sex work is work." And then the not so much, well, not just the feminists, but the so-called moral majority, the Christian right and stuff, came up with the trafficking narrative, sex trafficking. Sex trafficking does exist. Very, very little of it in the West. But this is an airhead named Jessica Munoz. Listen to her. Where are we? Time. 5 minutes, yeah. 5 minutes in.
Our culture has unwittingly created an unacceptable tolerance and ignorance to the reality of the sex slave industry that exists right here in America. We have normalized the sexualization of young girls and women. We have devalued and objectified them.
Sexualisation of women. Women are sexual creatures. Objectification is feminist claptrap. You know, it doesn't mean anything.
And with these misperceptions that we have adopted around prostitution, we have been further contributing to their exploitation and victimization. And I have to tell you that...
So prostitution, prostitutes are exploited. Yeah, right.
Up until 4 years ago, my view of prostitution was skewed. I viewed it in light of the movie Pretty Woman, in which you have a young girl on the street. She appears to have some friends. She doesn't seem in any distress. And a rich young man comes along, takes her on a date, wants to, puts her up in a nice hotel, buys her a lot of great things, falls in love with her, and wants to marry her.
Falls in love with a prostitute. Yeah, sure. Well, there's a little matter of Virginia Roberts in there.
Now that's a good story, but that's not reality. It does not show the rape, the abuse, the torture, and the underground world that exists surrounding this hideous crime in which she is not getting paid. And she is...
This is garbage. She's conflating prostitution, a voluntary act, with something entirely different.
Not keeping that money, and she's being exploited.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So along with this idea and some of the demands we've created, we have to say, well, are you sure she doesn't really choose to be out there? I can't tell you how many times I've been asked that question. If life was really so bad, why doesn't she just run away? Well, the reality is that once on the streets, the desire for hope, love and shelter is exploited. And once on the street, she's deceived, intimidated, and forced into prostitution.
Yeah, they're all victims, you see. Read some of the crime column sometimes about prostitutes, the way they treat their clients and other people. It's absolute garbage. There's some associated. There's an associated document with this. This is published by I think it was her. It was her or another woman that said that prostitution was a $32 billion industry in the United States. This document this is Trafficking in Persons Report, June 2018, available from the United States government website. Page 43. About child soldiers here. I think it's page 43. Global enforcement. Before that, it gives very much figures which are very different, and they willfully conflate the two. I mean, Mary Whitehouse used to do this. She'd start off talking about the evils of pornography, and then she'd bring in child pornography and snuff films, and just complete rubbish. And what's this one here? This is more the same, I think. The face of Megan Reinschild, the face of human trafficking. This one is. This is. I think this one is 5 minutes.
For 20 years, and interacting with lots of different victims of crime. I didn't know that this was happening in our own backyard. On a main street between two upper middle class neighborhoods next to a coffee shop that I frequented. And in fact, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, some 300,000 kids in the United States are being sex trafficked on any given day.
It says it's bullshit, absolute bullshit. 300,000 in the world maybe, but not 300,000 in the United States. Now listen to this.
300,000 kids. That is the size of Pittsburgh. And think for a minute what it felt like to be 12 or 13 years old. How impressionable we were. How much we wanted to be loved and accepted. Have people think we were pretty. Boys like us. Well, that's the average age that a child is recruited into sex trafficking.
You see, this is garbage as well. Now, we've had in England, we've had the grooming gang scandal, which is something slightly different. This was because people were police and were terrified, and social workers are mostly left wing, but people were terrified of being branded racist because the vast majority of the grooming gangs were not Muslims, as that idiot Tommy Robinson says, but as Jack Straw rightly pointed out, they were men of Pakistani origin who regarded young white girls as easy meat. There's a very big problem in this country of grooming gangs, and it's nothing like this scale this silly cow was talking about. Don't be put. They always use these gross exaggerations. Statistics are pulled out of the hat. Sometimes at their rear ends. Now this is quite interesting. This is Charisma Carpenter, as an actress, was actually a victim of a serial rapist. This is I found it some time ago, but I just rediscovered it. This is a story in the Daily Mail from September 4th, 2014. I had a lot of therapy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer star charisma company reveals how she recovered from rape ordeal when she was 21. Therapy don't do people don't. No, she's 4 now. So yeah, it was quite a serious case actually, and I think the guy got very heavy. Must have got a very heavy sentence. Yeah, it was, but you know, so these things do happen, and some quite famous people have been, quite famous women have been raped. In fact, well, victims of the actor, what was his name? Comedy actor Rick. He was victim of a random attack in New York the other week. Some lowlife playing the knockout game punched him in the face. Rick Moranis. Right, this brings us to John Leslie. Now, as I said before, when I was talking about embellishing, this Leslie, you may know he was a TV presenter. He used to present Blue Peter, and in that was way back in 1993. In 2002, he was presenting. I think it was on morning TV. Ladette weather girl Ulrika Johnson published her autobiography, in which she claimed when she was 18 she was raped by a showbiz type, and Matthew Wright, another TV presenter, blurted. I actually saw this at the time. I can't find it now. It's not on YouTube, funny enough. Or if it's on YouTube, I can't find it. He blurted out the person responsible was John Leslie. And the next thing you know, there's women accusing him left, right and centre of everything from groping to rape. And I mean, Leslie's no angel. I mean, he's got let's find this. He has a daughter apparently never seen, and I mean he's 6'5", Scottish accent, which a lot of women like. Intelligent, handsome, charismatic. In showbiz, he's a big earner, and a magnet for women, you know, I mean, a bloke like that, if a fan takes offence, or some woman takes offence, all she's got to do is, it could be anything, yeah. Perhaps she badges him for an autograph or something, or talks to him in the street, and he doesn't get the response she wants. He had a daughter by Rachel Bentley. Says that was back in, well, this was long time. When's this? This was 2008. Says he's abandoned the child. So, but the poor bloke went through absolute hell. Absolute hell. Now this is very interesting. This the way people embellish after the allegation came. Well, Ulrika Johnson never actually accused him, but after that became public and the women started accusing him. This is an example. A young woman named Tracy Chappell sold her story to the People, which is now the Sunday People. This is October 27, 2002, pages 6 and 7. Story by Rebecca Smith and Chris Tate. A victim of depraved John Leslie has bravely spoken out about the night the telestar wrecked her life with a sickening sex assault. Tracy Chappell was just 19 when Leslie targeted her in a nightclub. And she fled in tears after the 6'5" creep tried to make her have sex. Now Tracy, 25, tells her full story for the first time. No. No. And there's a lot of stuff here. She sobbed, John Leslie's a pervert. Whenever I see him on TV, it makes me feel sick. I want to smash the screen because he smashed my faith in men. He tries to look so nice and decent. At last, everyone can see what he is. Tracy's ordeal with the handsome former Blue Peter presenter began on one Monday night when she and two pals walked into Nightingale's, a Birmingham nightclub. She recalled, my friends Caroline and a guy called Christian were both gay, but everyone went there. So they saw Leslie. I went back to a hotel with him to play dominoes, of course. And she claims he tried to get into her knickers, which he may have done, but not. And she gives this story about what a terrible ordeal it was. She and her friend left the. He came into the corridor with his pants. He was really narked. Tracy suddenly saw red, picked up a fire extinguisher, and set it off all over the smoking star. He was soaked and swearing his head. His head off with rage. Now that's about an awful night. Yeah, that was in the wake of the Matthew riot outburst. But would you believe that wasn't the first time this young lady told that story? On September 19th, 1996, 6 years before, Blue Peter Hunk wanted us both in his bunk. The Sun, September 19th, 1996, page 7, by Andrew Parker. Now, this is, if you compare the two, you see how it's in balance. I'll probably put this on the website at some point, on the Full Sack timeline. Two lesbians told yesterday how Teddy Hunt and John Leslie lured them to his room for 3 in a bed naughties. But the ex-Blue Peter star's dream of a steamy romp turned to farce when the oblong blondes snubbed him and started fondling each other. The hilarious encounter happened after the former kid star met Tracy Chappell, 19, and her partner Caroline Jenkins in a gay club. So she's bisexual now, apparently. She's bisexual now. The story here is entirely different. It's there's no fear in her voice. Let me put it that way. He was obviously trying to get it off with them, and made him try for 3 in bed, but didn't get anywhere. He tried. The Pratt obviously thought we were at it. He tried to fondle me, but I told him to get lost. Different, entirely different. The pair left with gay pal Christian Loon, who had accompanied her to John's room. So there's two women, two young women, and a bloke. So the idea that entirely different. This was the Swara Hotel, and they were actually arrested. Three people were arrested as a suspicion of criminal damage because they set off fire extinguishers on. I think it was 17 fire extinguishers on. Let's have a look. I think it was 17 fire extinguishers on three floors of the hotel. Which I don't. That's. As a hotel exit, they started to play a prank by setting off 17 extinguishers on 3 floors. Entirely different. Leslie didn't get the treatment there. So it shows what absolute bollocks. It shows the way stories can be embellished and are embellished. This applies not just to allegations of rape or sexual assault, all sorts of things. It's there's a book, a novel, Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. There's a cameo in that. They got a public house on the banks of the Thames, and there's a fish, a stuffed fish on the wall, and they're told all sorts of tales about it by locals about how it was caught. Then the landlord says that eventually it wasn't like that at all. It was he actually caught it himself when he was a boy, and it was luck, you know. And one of the three gets up and have a closer look at it. Someone loses balance, grabs the case, it falls down, it smashes, it's china. It wasn't a real fish at all. But this shows the way that these stories are embellished. It doesn't mean that women can't tell the truth. You know, that doesn't mean every woman who claims to have been raped is lying. It doesn't mean every bloke who denies it is telling the truth. But you know, this is what we're being fed at the moment. I'll close by saying that October 30th, I'll maybe cover this. So I'm doing this in advance of Halloween, but October 30th there's the Emma Humphreys Award, Justice for Women. The Centre for Women's Justice is holding its first virtual award, giving the Emma Humphreys Prize. First a virtual prize giving. Emma Humphreys, she's on the timeline. I did quite a bit of research on this little monster. I read her autobiography, which is part. It was published posthumously, but it's got a lot of stuff in it by Julie Bindel and lover Harriet Wistrick, and it really is amazing how. I mean, Humphreys was a little monster. She was a teenage prostitute. She murdered a bloke who may have been her pimp, but she was flogging her mutton before she met Trevor Armitage. They spun her from jail. With an appeal, the Court of Appeal should never have entertained. And 3 years later, she ended up taking overdose, possibly accidentally. And they literally canonised this little monster. If you check out my article, the canonisation of Emma Humphreys, and also on the timeline, I go into great detail there because I read that book, and there's the Court of Appeal report and everything, and it shows you how fucking delusional these women are. These anti-rape campaign, anti-violence against women campaigners. Men are the root of all evil. Yeah? Any time a woman does anything bad, it's the fault of a man. There's a woman in the United States scheduled to be executed on December the 8th, Lisa Montgomery. She committed carried out a fetal abduction. She bluffed her way to a woman's home, heavily pregnant woman, strangled her and cut the baby out of her. If you can imagine, horrific crime. And she's been on death row since. This was 2004 that happened. She's been on death row since 2007, and finally there's a big federal execution if she's executed. And there's some mad bitch on the Cornell University website, a victim of child rape and child sex trafficking. Yeah, she needs help. Poor woman. She strangled a woman. Started cutting the baby. The victim sort of recovered, and as she was doing it, I mean, she's absolutely horrible. I mean, Ted Bundy wouldn't have done something like that. And it wasn't her fault. It was because she was sexually abused as a youngster. Yeah, no accountability, no agency at all. So anyway, that's the latest hangout. I don't know if I've got a couple of ideas for, certainly there may be one more video, if not this year then fairly soon, short video, not necessarily about false rape, but about feminism. But I've added quite a lot to the false rape timeline of late. Just have a look and see how many entries we've got now. The last hangout was the first 5,000, so we've done a few more since then. Let's have a look. Count these. Oops. About 5,045. Over 5,040 entries, of course. Not all false rape allegations, but 5,040, in excess of 5,000 entries, and of course a few recent ones. The most recent one is September 28th. There's an acquittal in the New Delhi Supreme Court dating back to 1995. On September 18th, a young woman pleads guilty to fraud and blackmail, trying it on with a guy. And September 10th, there's a documentary featuring Liam Allen and others. There's quite a few recent ones. I don't like to put in too many. There's a whole backlog of quite older cases. I mean, I've probably got a few hundred to add yet. I've got literally thousands of files to work through, weeding out duplicates. So anyway, that's Halloween Surprise. I hope you like it, and please visit the timeline. Please check out these live hangouts and not so live hangouts, and the other videos I've made. There's rape and cooperation, of course, which is a fine effort in my humble opinion. And if anyone wants to visit my Patreon, which I set up in, I think, 2016, nobody's donated to, or donations can be made, details on the timeline. And of course, if anyone has any cases you want to submit, I had a few people do that, thank you. And I will maybe make another one of these, maybe late November, maybe early December.